Alright, hi. So, this is the third part of the video on EU4 game pacing. Now, in this video, I'm going to start talking about the age of absolutism. Now, this age is interesting because it's a pain in the ass, but it's also where everything starts to crumble and you burn the world. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Now, you might know, as I already mentioned before, and by the end of the Age of Reformation, you should have 1,000 development. This is what I said. And well, most of you probably don't understand why is that so important. Why is it so crucial? Well, let me delete this so I can, yeah, make this a bit. Alright, so this age introduced a very different mechanics than before. As I said, in the age of discovery, you are constrained by points, manpower, monarch points to do basically anything in game. So you better sit tight, be a good boy, and start filling out your ideas and tech and wait. Because you also have institution to jumpstart too. But now, in the age of Reformation, you should have built up a decent economy, a decent manpower pool, have some reasonable ideas, some strong idea sets filled, and you have spare monarch points, excessive monarch points to start conquering things and coring things, and still make a surplus. Now, in this age, things are going to be taken to a different level. You have something called absolutism, which increases your admin efficiency. The foreign court duration is pretty useless when nobody cares about, but the admin efficiency is where's the fun at. Because, as I mentioned, even though you have the money, let's say you're the Ottomans or France, you could win any wars in the Age of Reformation. But you still can't take things because of aggressive expansion impact. You just can't, because everyone is going to coalition you and your mother, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just can't fight everyone at the same time. But in this age, everything has... also, yeah, you don't have advanced CBs. So in the Age of Reformation, you also, if you take even if you 100% someone, there's only not so much things you can take. But in this age, I should stop repeating that. You have admin efficiency. Admin efficiency reduces a lot of things. First of all, the war score cost of the province. So you can take more provinces at the same time for the same amount of war score. It reduces the amount of points you need to pay for coring things, be it state core or territorial core. It reduces the aggressive expansion from taking that province. At the base aggressive at the base value of the game. Basically, when you take a 10 development provinces, you get 7.5 aggressive expansion. That's the base, without any sort of modifiers. And you can see your modifiers here. For example, if you take influence and have 100 prestige, you get 30% less. So it goes to, let's say, a 10 development provinces is going to give you 7.5, and then with 30% off, that would be 5.25, and that's for taking every development. So you can see that's a 50% discount already, just from having prestige and taking one idea that reduce it. And then admin efficiency is going to multiply on this number and making it even lower. So one of the prime example I should make is maybe I'm going to declare on Poland. Let's say Poland is our next winner of the lottery to get killed. This is so slow, this game. Look at this stupid game. And I already disabled the AI. Alright, so now, right now, oh, I should probably mention that the timing of the start of the age of absolutism also coincide with the first admin efficiency from technology, which you can see here, which is at Tech 17. So as soon as you enter this age, you should get 10% already. But anyway, so here, Poland. You should see if I take this, it's 14 war score. It's 14 war score, is 12% overextension and 16 aggressive expansion. But with absolutism set to 100, suddenly is... Come on, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, now it changes to 8%, 9 aggressive expansion. So that's like half, almost a half. So you can see the differences. Suddenly you can take half of your enemy's country in one war. That's more than half, actually. I mean, ignore the aggressive expansion for now, but this is basically I wouldn't say 90%, maybe 80% or so of and the entire Poland. And this is only going to give you 70% overextension. But if I give it back to 0, you can see how this is gonna go. And suddenly this is 163 war score, almost 140 aggressive expansion, and it's going to overextend you as well. So you can see the huge difference over there, just between 10% admin efficiency and 47 admin efficiency. So admin efficiency, I mean, everyone knows this, I guess. So I shouldn't say a lot of talk more about how administrative efficiency works. But what's more important is that I told you guys, you need to have 1,000 development by the end of. You should. I mean, you should. It's not a must. You should have the 1,000 development by 1610. That's because you get admin efficiency quickly by reducing autonomy on things. Yes, man. Oh, the AI doesn't work. But, come on. Okay, so here it is. So you get admin efficiency quickly by reducing autonomy, right? And autonomy-wise, it's every 20 development you reduce autonomy on is going to give you 1 absolutism. And by that, you need 100 absolutism, which is going to be 2,000 development. I mean, when you think about it, hey, that's a lot. There's no way I can get 2,000 development by 1,600. Oh well, technically speaking, it's not so painful. You only actually need to have 1,000 admin efficiency, and you know why? Because you reduce you reduce these, right? I'm going to make a, let's say you have 1,000 development and you reduce this. So you get 50, exactly 50. You can do the math. So now we're, oh shit. Okay, now we're at 50. So right here, we have hit a very interesting crossroad of this age. Because you're about to trigger a disaster called courts and country. Okay? So what this does is that it's a disaster. You don't have to trigger necessarily, but it has tremendous bonus if you do. As you can see, the maximum absolutism for a normal monarchy, and yes, Ottoman is a normal monarchy, and you can see how the breakdown is right now. Alright, so 95. So base value 65. If you're an empire, you get plus 5. So that is why I told you it's important that you get 1000 development. Because other than the fact that reducing every single one of your province is going to give you 50 administrative efficiency, it also gives you empire rank. You also need prestige to upgrade it, but you can only get empire when you have 1000 development. So 1000 is the magic number in development. So anyway, you get government rank, that is plus 5, and then most of the time, if you're a monarchy, you get another plus 5. Legitimacy at 100 gives you plus 10. Being a great power, it's plus 5, which you should be if you have 1000 development. Religious unity is another plus 5, which you should have anyways. So that counts up to 95. So the only way to get to 100 absolutism is to get golden era normally, and that only lasts for 50 years, and then it would drop back down to 95. And if you have fluctuation in your legitimacy, it gets lower and doesn't climb back up, because that's how the game works. It screws with you. So with 1000 development, you can get 50 absolutism. Barring the part, don't look at the administrative efficiency you get from there, because that's not the point. The point is, you will get a little bit more of absolutism from doing anything else, like, reducing harsh treatment in rebels, getting stability, and stuff like that. And by the time you hit 60, which isn't hard to get, mind you, because I am going to lower my stability. Oh, should be -6. Yeah, I'm going to lower my stability, and then okay, now we got rebels, right? Now we got rebels. We got loads of rebels. Now we can harsh treatment them, right? And every harsh treatment cost can be reduced with this thing, Conquer New States. This one. Conquer New States gives you 33% cheaper harsh treatment. And then you can also pick up this thing for another 50%, so they stack up to -83% cost for harsh treat. But that's not the point. The point is that, let's say you got these and stuff, now you need this. You need to be at war, and then you can start triggering this disaster called Courts and Country. This is a rather annoying disaster, because it requires you to fuck up your country. But on the other hand, the reward is that you get 20 absolutism cap after the disaster. So it means you will be at 115. So at 115, you will never have to worry about legitimacy dropping all the way to 0. I think you still should, but I mean that's unlikely to happen. But anyhow, it's a wiggle room, so you wouldn't have to monitor this value so closely later on in the game. So this is the age of absolutism, and what you should do in the age of absolutism. To break it down, all you need to do is to have 1000 development, right, to begin with, and then you trigger. You have 1000 development. You set yourself up. You trigger the disaster. You trigger this disaster. You get through this disaster in 10 years. In 10 years, then you can get all the way up to 115 absolutism cap, and then you will gain absolutism again by decreasing autonomy again, which you should be able to do because you're conquering new land as well. And most importantly, as I told you guys, you should always push for trade companies. And this is what you should be doing in the age of absolutism. You should be conquering a lot of things when you got admin efficiency because of how strong it is. You should be conquering the trade companies. You should be lowering autonomy and pushing yourself up to 100 absolutism as soon as possible. And this is kind of a snowball effect. You conquer shit to get shit that helps you to conquer shit, right? These things just reinforce and enforce one another. Yeah, you take things. These things are gonna give you rebels. You harsh treat them. You lower the autonomy on them. You get absolutism, which helps you conquer faster. Which you get more rebels. Which you get more. So it's a cycle. But once you're out of this annoying cycle, which should take you around 30 years, you can you would be around, let's say, I mean, the quickest I have ever triggered the disaster is 1620, and I got through out of the disaster in 1630. But sometimes I have to wait, or in some circumstances, I have to finish the disaster in 1640. So you have about 35 years before imperialism comes in. Oh yeah, I should do that. I should talk about that. 1640. Okay, so this is 1640. And at this point, you should be pretty fine with your tech and ideas, and you really wouldn't have problems with your ideas that you need and don't have it. Then at this point, it's just luxury to take any other ideas. And then you want to conquer things, as I said. And by 1670, oh no, actually 1675 or so. It depends. Okay, so you should be readying around 1670 for this thing called imperialism. And this thing allows you to have a CB on literally every single person in game. And it also allows you to take more things because it reduces the it also reduces the amount of the war score cost by another 25%, which is the same as what you get in the age objective in the last age. So this is what Age of Absolutism is about. And unfortunately to say, after you got the CB, you only have 35 years to use them. So you are basically spending the first half of this age on jump-starting your absolutism and getting it up to speed. You're spending the first half of this age just setting yourself up with land and rebels and stability to trigger the disaster, get through it, and get maximum absolutism. And then the second half of the age is where you can actually use these things and start to not think about the consequences of conquering things. And then I will talk about the next age in the next video. See you there.